So this is the gear I'm gonna focus on in today's video. We have the X5 and the HoverAir X1 Pro Max, but I assume if you already have the X1 Pro, you can just about do the same. It's just some feature differences, I guess. And also for audio, I'm using the Insta360 Mic Air. The helmet I'm using is the AGV Pista GPRR, and to place the microphone inside the helmet here, I took the magnetic base plate here, which is included, and just put some Velcro on the other side there, and I put a piece of Velcro inside the helmet as well. So what I can do now is to just put the microphone on the magnetic plate here and just secure that to the Velcro piece, which is sitting inside my helmet here, just like that. And whenever I want to do something else, I can just take off the microphone. I can decide whether I want to bring the base plate or not, or just take it like this and use the other included attachment here, which is the clip-on, the magnetic clip-on, which means I can just clip it on like this, for example, which is really convenient. So the settings I'm using on the X5 now is exposure value set to -1, simply because I want to export for the highlights. I want my I want to expose for the highlights, which is the sky and the clouds, and usually these might get blown out and it makes the midtones and shadows a little bit darker, but I think that looks absolutely smashing on the X5 anyway. And in worst case, I can just lift the midtones a little bit and it will look even better in some cases. And the bitrate is also set to high, and the resolution is 8K 30 FPS. And this is basically just a few adjustments on the camera itself, and from there on you can just press record and it will record amazing videos, 360 videos, which you can freely move around in post and frame whatever you want to frame, which I think is fantastic. And one of the reasons a 360 camera is the only Moto camera I prefer to use. Occasionally I use a regular action camera, which I have mounted here on my in front of my helmet to get that POV shot, but I can also get the same POV shot with the X5 even when using the 360 video mode, or I can just go by single lens mode, but I really prefer that 8K 30 FPS in 360 videos. If you want to check out my Signature LUTs, there is a link down in the description below, which you can check out. There's going to be a 15% discount added to that also for the convenience, so go check it out if you're interested. So next time you're out riding, try pointing the mic downwards and let me know your experience down in the comments below. The camera I'm using for my MOTOVLOGS is the X5. The reason I use the X5 is to have unlimited angles and full flexibility in post. It also allows me to make more interesting videos rather than having one camera which is point and shoot and just captures in one direction, which could make the video quite boring over time. So by using a 360 camera, I can make as many different angles as I want and just cut between them in post later. What I usually do is to find 3 to 4 different angles when I'm out riding, and then I enable direction lock and make a keyframe at the beginning and at the end, which keeps the angle consistent throughout the video, and then I export that clip. Then I find another angle and do the exact same thing, and again and again and again. As many times as I feel like, basically. And this is, you know, people say it's really time consuming and hard to edit 360 videos. I literally made 2 keyframes and enable direction lock and hit export. Couldn't be easier. And when everything is exported, I move everything over to my editing software and just stack them up as 2 to 4 layers depending on how many I exported. So now it's just about playing through the video and cut between the clips to show different angles. And this is as easy as it gets. And another thing is also that this helps remove dead space and flaws that could happen during the time of recording. So by changing up the angles, you can make a more interesting video, and you can make it smoother because you don't have these hiccups, flaws, or dead spaces, which might cause these hard cuts between your clips. And that's also another thing, another good thing with a 360 camera. Now let's talk about audio. There's two reasons I went with the Mic Air. Firstly, it sounds amazing and a touch clearer than the Mic Mini from DJI, which I've been using up until now. Currently using the Mic Mini now from DJI. How does this compare to the new microphone from Insta360 when we switch over to that? So I now change over to the microphone from Insta360, the Mic Air. How does this sound in comparison to the Mic Mini from DJI? So which one do you like better? Is it the Mic Mini or is it the Mic Air from Insta360? This is the thing with technology. The Mic Mini from DJI has been my go-to ever since it was released, but now Insta360 came with a better microphone, so I changed. Then DJI will probably come with a new and better DJI Mic Mini 2 or Mic 3, so I will probably change back to DJI for that one. And the same things will probably happen next year. So reason number one, the Mic Air has better audio. And the reason number two is conveniency. So when I pair this with the X5, I can actually start and stop recording by pressing the power button on the mic when it's connected to the X5 or the Ace Pro. So instead of just being a microphone, I actually have a quote-to-quote dedicated remote as well as a microphone. So let's say I have the X5 mounted in different positions on my bike and I just want to record shorter sessions without having to stop the bike. I can just mount this on the handlebar and just press the power button to stop and start recording. So that's some pretty convenient stuff right there. So not only a solid good ass microphone, but also a remote. I'll leave a link to this in the description below if you haven't seen it, haven't heard of it, or if you just want to check it out. I think it's less than $50 as well, which is pretty competitive pricing, I would say. Now, one of the things I've been starting to implement into my motovlogs is the use of drones. So for this one, I'm using the X1 ProMax from 00 Robotics, but I also want to add that any drone would really do the job. It's mostly about the setup time, the shots you want, and the speed you're going at, and how much time you want to spend with setting things up, wait for GPS, and so on. But I would say the easiest and the fastest drone to use for this scenario is the Flip, Neo, and the X1 Pro and X1 Pro Max. So like I said, I prefer the X1 Pro Max because the Flip struggles when there's too much wind, and the field of view isn't as wide as the Pro Max either, and the Pro Max has superior image quality compared to the Neo. Of course, there is a price difference here, but I think the Pro Max performs significantly better than both the Flip and the Neo when it comes to motovlogs. Also, the beacon here is really convenient to keep track of the drone without losing or having dropouts in the transmission signal. So you can use this as a dedicated remote, which I did to film a cinematic B-roll of my new MT-07. So just check this out. There's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Catch me howling at the moon. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men try to reach it, many men have failed. let me just show you how easy this setup is to use. So I have the X5 mounted on my helmet. I have the HoverAir X1 ProMax here. Just gonna turn it on.
Current mode, hover.
So it's set to hover. We're gonna change it to cycling mode, which is high and far. Start it right here.
Cycling mode.
Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope you won't shoot me down.
Now just go over to the drone and stretch my hand out, land it, and we're done. So all of these shots here were captured with the X1 Pro Max and the beacon combo here with the remote, and it actually looks like it was captured on my Sony, maybe not my Sony a7S III, but a mirrorless camera and a handheld gimbal. When it comes to tracking, the Pro Max is exceptional and just as smooth as some of my bigger drones, and the bonus here is that I can track from the front, from the rear, and from either side, which is only doable with the Pro Max, I think. I don't have the Pro, but if you have the X1 Pro, let me know in the comments. But this is the only drone that can do it without a remote, which is this small. So ever since I got the Pro Max, I've seen that this drone is the one I go for when I need hands-free tracking shots or some casual quick shots or B-rolls of different locations. It's easy to use and has outstanding image quality. Basically ticks all my boxes. So this paired with the X5 here, I have the ability to capture all angles and aerial videos with the press of a single button. So that's basically how I make my motovlogs look and sound better and more interesting rather than having just a straightforward camera shot. Using two cameras, a 360 camera and a regular action camera like the Action 5 Pro is still something I do recommend though if you have the option to buy two cameras. But the X5 and the X1 Pro Max is what makes it for me. Aerial quality straight from the pocket and the ability to capture everything on the ground. It's just amazing. So let me know your favorite motovlogging camera, and if you have ever tried the 360 camera and the drone when you do a motovlogs. If you have, let me know your experience down in the comment section below. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button, turn on notifications, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this. So that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.